Hello Internet, I'm Jeff, also known as the Classic Nerd, and there's something that I have to talk about. If you've seen any of my previous videos, then you know that I'm into retro video game collecting. It's all right over here, which you can't actually see. But there's a problem with retro video game collecting, and that is the community. There's been a boom in the popularity of retro video game collecting over the past couple of years, and the issue with that is supply versus demand. There's too much demand, but not enough supply. Capcom is not making any more Mega Man. I mean, they're not making any more of these. I mean, there's a limited supply, so the prices are going up. I know this isn't an expensive game, but I mean, in a few months it actually could be. That's the issue with retro video game collecting. Yeah, people who see retro video game collecting as a status symbol is saying that, hey, I got all these video games and I can say that I own some of the most expensive video games in the world. You've got collectors like me who actually play the games that they collect, as you can see in my reviews as well as my live streams. You've got people who think that retro video game collecting is an investment, like in 2 years they're going to become millionaires if they collect a shit ton of video games. And that is false. You're not going to become a millionaire by collecting video games. It's just not going to happen. And here's why. When the Amiibos came out, you saw a flood of people just buying out entire shelves, just putting everything from the shelf into their cart and buying everything, then going right back onto eBay and saying, hey, guess what? These are in limited supply because I fucking bought them all. You're an idiot. You created a false demand. That doesn't equal money for you. Unfortunately, it did for some people, but a lot of people, thanks to the restocking, thanks to the ports opening up, you know, there was a while there where shipping freighters were like not able to unload their shipments because of a strike. That's over now. Best Buy is keeping everything in stock. Walmart's keeping stuff in stock. Toys R Us keeping stuff in stock, luckily. And now you're sitting on maybe 100 freaking Little Macs when I got my Little Mac very easily, actually. I saw a Craigslist ad the other day where somebody was like, I'm selling a Rosalina Amiibo out of box, loose. It's actually super rare. Nintendo, this is actually in the Craigslist post. Nintendo announced that they will be reproducing more Rosalina Amiibos. But, this is actually what he said, but we don't know if it's going to be a different model, if it's going to be the exact same sculpt. So, I'm selling my Rosalina for $75 because this model could be, you know, one of a kind. You're a fucking moron! You got situations where, like, GameStop created false demand with Xenoblade Chronicles, where they actually told their employees to pretty much break the wrapping from Xenoblade copies to make it seem like they were used so that GameStop could sell new games for the price of like $99.99 or whatever Xenoblades were going for at the height of their, you know, popularity. And that's fucked up. You had people doing this with Devil's Third, even though they said, yeah, it's going to be a limited supply run. People focus on the supplied run aspect of advertising and thinking, oh, let me jump in there. Let me get all of this shit so I can sell it really quick. Just so in 1 month's time, they'll just be restocked. And I'm not going to sell not even a quarter of my stock. And I'm going to be in the fucking red. You're a moron. I think one of the biggest examples for retro video game collectors doing this to the actual video games would be games like Contra, Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 2, Super Mario Brothers 3, and the list goes on. I've only paid retail for a few of my video games, but I've actually noticed like the prices, they're always going up for these games. Super Mario Brothers 3, I got mine for $5. I've seen this go for $40 on eBay. What the fuck is that shit? This is like one of the most common video games next to the first one. This is one of the most common video games that people owned. It's not like Flintstones Adventure in Dinosaur Peak or whatever it is. Actually, I've never seen a copy of that. I don't actually know the full name of it. Is it Adventures in Dinosaur Peak? I don't remember. Video games should be bringing us together, not separating us. When I was a kid, I could not admit that I was into video games because that would automatically label me as a loser, a nerd, a geek. That is why I am the classic nerd, because I've been a video gamer since the early 90s, dude, since 8-bit, since 16-bit, and all that jazz. Now, video games are a multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar industry, and everybody's a video gamer now. But I was first. Not really. There's, video games have been around since the 60s, actually, with, actual, like, calculator type games and stuff like that. But anyways, I don't like the way that the retro video game community has become ever since I actually started joining the community of it all. But I mean, at some point in time, dude, we all have to realize that we're in this for the same thing. For the most part, like I said, there's people that are just doing it for the muns. Doing it for the muns, huns. But other than those morons, there's a common bond between us. And I don't like how you can go to certain communities and just be cussed out or, accused of stuff. I'm going to end this little rant with, why can't we just be friends, man? If you enjoyed this rambling fool, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Next week there should be a new Castlevania Dracula X review coming up on the channel. So there's that to expect and more. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.